Today's video, I'm going to talk all about reports. Now, from somebody that teaches every single year group in secondary school and somebody that has 20 different Key Stage 3 classes, I know that reports can take up a lot of time. There's going to be three things that I'm going to talk about in this video of philosophies and attitude that I have towards creating and completing my reports that I think is perhaps good knowledge. Those three things are: be constructive, be honest, and be aware. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is be constructive. The purpose of a report is providing information to that parent, but don't be afraid to be constructive. We obviously want to make sure that we praise pupils on how well they have done, but it's always thinking about how a pupil can continue to develop on their learning. Depending upon the school that you're at, each school completes reports in slightly different ways. The school that I currently work at, we have a report in regards to we give at least effort, behaviour, homework and a comment for every single child. Now that comment provides you with a little bit more description for that parent about something that can be a praise but also something being constructive. Even if you're sat there thinking this pupil's amazing, they've come along so far, don't be afraid to continue to provide that constructive feedback about an area in particular they could continue to strive with. Constructive feedback doesn't always need to be relating towards perhaps a concept. This might be more skill-based. Constructive feedback might be having further confidence to contribute in class discussions. They might be fantastic on paper and their work might have shown so much progress on an independent point of view, but constructive feedback might be about those class skills, so don't forget about those. It's about being constructive and allowing that feedback to give them an area that they can continue to show progress in. Being honest. There is no point in you completing a report that is an inaccurate reflection of that child. Now at secondary, the reason why I talk about this is that actually it provides the parent with a further awareness towards how that child is getting on in your particular subject. And this can be in regards to how well they're doing academically, but also how well they are doing behaviourally. So for example, it might be that you've got a pupil in your class that I'm not saying is badly behaved consistently, however, they have had a few hiccups in some of the lessons that you have had in regards to their behaviour and perhaps attitude to learning. Don't be afraid to place that on a report, because actually it creates that conversation with that parent. Being brave enough as a teacher to give a parent a call if there's something you're concerned about can alleviate those worries that you might have about completing that report, especially if you're going to have to put something that you worry about a parent calling you back on and asking further questions. Be honest in regards to every aspect: effort, attitude, homework, and that general overriding consensus on how they are doing in your classroom. It allows the pupil to have a further understanding towards how they're getting on in your classroom, and also the parent. It's not going to help you in the long run if you just lie, but also if you just give every single pupil in your class the exact same target and the exact same report essentially. We want to try to make sure that we can individualise each report as best as we can. I'm not saying that two pupils can't have a similar target. However, I would doubt that all pupils in a classroom, say if it's 30, would have the exact same target, the exact same feedback, and the exact same levels of effort, behaviour, homework, and so on. So be honest and really think about the individual feedback that you're giving to the best point you can on that report. And finally, be aware. Be aware that obviously the point of a report is for the parent and the child to have those conversations about how they're doing in your classroom. So whatever you're putting down in that report, be aware that obviously that parent is going to read and analyse the report that you have given. Being constructive and being honest is the best thing that you can do so that that parent is honestly aware about how that child is getting on. However, it's about being aware towards what that parent might further ask or might further say in regards to the report that you've given. I'm not saying that a parent is going to ring up the school and inquire a list of questions. However, it tends to be the general idea at schools that they will receive at least more than one report a year, a few reports a year, and usually they're going to have a parents' evening after one of those reports have taken place. The reason why I'm saying be aware is that whatever you put down on that report, that is what the parent is going to be aware of their child, and it might be something that they want to further have a conversation with you as their teacher. So being constructive and being honest is going to help you have those aware conversations with that parent, but also to alleviate any of those worries that the parent might have or that perhaps you might have about speaking to that parent. Lastly, I haven't put this down as kind of one of my 3 things, but don't feel like a report is the only time that you can feed back towards a parent, towards how the child has been doing. I think parents really appreciate a phone call or an email if there's a specific area that perhaps you want to congratulate a pupil on, or if there is a particular concern. Like I've said previously, if you know that there's a child that you have a particular concern, it might be with homework. Having those conversations home can help alleviate the worries that you might have as a teacher of reporting this concern back in a report. Keeping those open communications home with parents outside of the report can not only make the report even more purposeful, but less of a worry for you to feed back as a teacher. That's my advice when it comes towards writing and completing reports. I hope that this video has been useful for you to perhaps be more aware, ironically one of my 3 points, about the best way that I approach reports for any pupil that I have. I know it can be something that is time consuming. However, the more that you know your pupils, essentially, the easier you're going to find that report and the quicker that you are, as you're going to have a further insight towards what you're going to report back on. From somebody that sometimes sees pupils only 18 times a year, because I only see pupils once a fortnight, I know this might be difficult. So alongside report, I think actually using your assessment of that child and your honest judgment will help you have a further accurate, detailed perception of how you're going to complete that report. Anyway, that's it from me, and I hope you have a fantastic week.